Jackie Dean.
Mr. Speaker, I do beg your pardon. Electoral Amendment Bill, first reading, and I want to first acknowledge members of the Justice and Electoral Select Committee who worked, as usual, in a constructive and collegial, pragmatic way to make a report to government, and here we are with the government's response by way of a bill. I think we would all acknowledge that we are incredibly fortunate in New Zealand. Some might say lucky, but I reckon we're fortunate in New Zealand in that every permanent resident above the age of 18 is entitled to vote in the general election. We also are fortunate, and there's nothing lucky about this, it's taken many, many years of diligent attention to the legislative process, of which we add our most recent iteration, to having a good, robust process within the electoral system, and we do now enjoy a very high level of integrity within that system. The other part of that equation for a good, robust electoral system which delivers good results for the country is to have strong engagement by those who are entitled to vote, and also those younger folk who are not yet entitled to vote but who should be thinking about their degree of responsibility, and in particular civics responsibility. And it is my view, and I believe the view of a number of members on the government side and other sides, that early engagement in the process is far more beneficial than that very last minute, oh my goodness, it's the day before election, I'm not enrolled, I do want to vote. If you're not engaged, how do you make good choices? If you're not engaged in the electoral process of which we are so proud, how can you then be focused on receiving the many types of information which will come flooding into you as a citizen through every means possible, and we expand those means even in this bill. If you're not engaged, how do you make a good, informed decision? And that is why my view, and the view of many others on the committee and across these benches, is that early engagement, so that a considered decision can be made, has got to be the preferred option for anyone who is engaging in this electoral system. It's also really important that we have regular reviews of our electoral system so that it can be as efficient and as effective as it possibly can be. And a lot of the recommendations that are made in this bill reflect that the changing nature of doing business in New Zealand. And so therefore, for example, we're making changes to bring the electoral system in line with shifts in technology and indeed shifts in voter behaviour. We'll make we will enable more efficient systems in polling places, and with things, for example, like early counting of advanced voting, just seemingly simple changes which will make our system even more robust. And I would emphasise, because we have many opportunities to speak on this bill, I would emphasise that early engagement of people in the system has got to bring about better outcomes for us all. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.